Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little lunchtime live show for you. We are here the next day after the first game back of the Premier League for Manchester United to dissect the day's news, transfer goings-on, and also, obviously, the fallout and reaction of the gashtastic game that happened yesterday, which we lost 1-0 to Arsenal somehow. So we're going to get into all of the news right here, my friends. Thank you very much for joining us and getting in here for the show. Do us a favour at the start of this show and smash that like on it. Give us a big thumbs up. You know it makes sense there. You can share us around as well by giving us a repost on X. You know it makes sense as well. Give us a repost. We'll shout you out later. And welcoming everybody in the live chat. Get involved throughout the show. We want to hear from you, such as Aaron, Robert Hewer, Tommy Boyle, Indy, Nas, Studio. What's going on? Adam Butler, PJ, William, Malps, lad. How you getting on? Gio, Daz Salford, Prima Italia, Gungshi getting in there raw, lad. Yes. Agrippa Chinhara, Adam Butler, Mark Jalojli, Sectional Ceiling, Disco Dave, PJ, Robert, Bizarre Pudding, and everybody who's in here. Thank you very much for joining us. You may notice that down in the corner there, guys. We now have a sponsor for the rest of the month, Match Bingo. Check out Match Bingo using the link in the description, or you can scan that QR code there, UK only. Get in there, my son. How you doing, Kemar, Farki Harson, Barbary, and everybody? Thanks for joining. Smash the likes, give us a share. You know it makes sense. Right, let's get into it then, guys. Let's get into it then. So, Manchester United lost, obviously, yesterday to Arsenal. First game back. Very frustrating. It was pretty much the best performance we've seen by us for a good while, actually, though, other than the result. The actual performance was decent. There was some good attacking threat. There was some aggression throughout. There was, a real intent to create and score goals. Just couldn't quite do it. The likes of Mbeumo, Cunha not really having their shooting boots on, but every other aspect was quite promising, wasn't it? And Mbeumo was absolutely cooking. Cunha looked very dangerous. It was positive. There was still some highlighted issues, though, which we'll get into. But overall, Arsenal were very lucky Arsenal, to get the result. Actually, I've seen some of the clips back, such as like some of the penalty shouts that Man United had that were just sort of ignored by the officials. And we should have had a bloody penalty, mate. We blatantly should have had a pen. So never mind the fact we lost the game due to a flubber-handed incident from the goalie. And other than that, Arsenal did not best us at all. In fact, we bested them. We were unlucky when it comes to some of the key decisions as well, because I've seen that challenge on Cunha certainly could have resulted in a penalty in 9 games out of 10. So I think we were just unlucky there, really. And in many ways, we should have got a result from it. We should have at least got a draw. Reality is, we probably should have won the game. If it wasn't for a flubber-handed mess and some gash officiating, then we'd probably win that game 1-0. So, there's a lot of positives to take from it, which is strange when we're talking about a loss at Old Trafford. But we were very unlucky. You can't really say anything other than we didn't deserve to lose. So I thought we played a lot better. We had like 22 odd shots against Arsenal. Apparently it's the most we've had against them since we beat them 8-2. So we definitely tried. Their goalkeeper had a great game as well. David Raya was fantastic in goal for Arsenal. And that is the effect that a great goalkeeper can have. He can just single-handedly win you games sometimes, even against the run of play, even if you're just conceding lots of chances. If the goalie's on it and a goalie's a top goalie and he's having a great day, then he can make the difference. And that's exactly what Raya did. So United need to get ourselves a goalie like that who's solid and reliable and can save us. Somebody like that, Gungshi, would be amazing. Big Dave from Fiorentina. Exactly. Raya, man of the match, tells the story. Exactly, Tommy. Yeah. So, those guys certainly, have an impact, whoever is the goalkeeper. We've seen it ourselves. I remember watching a game, Man United versus Tottenham, some years back when David De Gea was in goal for us, and they battered us. They absolutely battered us, but we somehow won the game 1-0. Well, this is kind of like that, and that's because of David De Gea making some incredible saves, even way more than the likes of David Raya did in this game. But that's what I can sort of do, is having a great goalkeeper there. So United have, unfortunately, a couple of flubber-handed individuals. I think we've got to start seriously checking the bone density of new signings. What are they doing in these medicals? That's what they need to do. When they have a medical for a new goalkeeper, they need to have a scan of their wrists. You know what I mean? Make sure they've got adequate bone density there, rather than just these floppy wrists. But in all seriousness, Bayinder's incident that's cost us yesterday just highlights the problem further. He's not ready to be our number one. I like what Amorim said afterwards. He's questioned about selecting Bayinder and asked if he's good enough and all the rest of it. And Amorim's just staunchly defending his goalkeeper. saying that he backs his goalkeeper and he rates the goalkeeper, and fair play to him. I think that's the right thing to do, and there's no reason to throw Bayender under the bus after just one game here where he's made a flubber-handed mess. Okay, he has made a couple of errors in the past, but, he's not been terrible. He's not really had a lot of run in the side, has he, in order to say, yes, this guy's definitely awful. So I think Ruben's absolutely right to back LT, but it doesn't stop the fact that we do have a flubber hand in goal, regardless of who we choose. So if it's Alte Bayender playing, or if it's Andre Onana playing, we have somebody with an inadequate wrist. Now, that is a problem when you're trying to actually achieve things. We couldn't have had the most perfect game yesterday to highlight this fact. We couldn't have had it. Like, we need to sign a goalkeeper. Hopefully the board and everyone at the football club now realises that. We couldn't have had a perfect game to highlight it, because obviously the goalie situation is a big problem. That's led to us directly losing that game of football, when if it wasn't just for that silly error, which should be getting dealt with, if not for a very weak Bayender in that moment. I've heard people say, oh, he's being crowded by Saliba. Could you imagine Peter Schmeichel getting bullied by Saliba like that? Or Edwin van der Sar? It would never happen. They would be absolutely claiming that ball. They would certainly be enough of a command and have the strength and physicality in order to win that ball. That Bayender was bullied off of the ball. Do you know what I mean? That's the reality. Whether you want to say that should be allowed or not, and Saliba's crowding him, fouling him, whatever you want to say. Some people have said that. I don't believe that's true. I just think Bayender is a weakling, and you need somebody like a Big Peter in there to just strike fear into these opposition strikers and actually claim these balls. We don't have the guys to do that right now. Andre Onana and Alte Bayender clearly are melters when it comes to command in their area. Oliver Kahn, precisely. Oliver Kahn, do you know what I mean? Somebody like that who's got a bit of bollocks about them. Donnarumma's got a scar on his face. Donnarumma is a big unit. Someone like that, or a Courtois, those sorts of big physical goalkeepers are what we could do with, to be fair. So we aren't running into these problems with these floppy individuals in goal. So, it's highlighted the fact, though, in a way, it's kind of good maybe, because maybe now it forces Manchester United's hand. Ruben Amorim may be saying this about Bayender and he's backing him and everything, but I'm sure in his heart of hearts, he will be crying out for a goalkeeper in this window. The situation is we need to get a DM, we need to get a goalkeeper. We apparently had around about £80 million allocated there for Baleba. Brighton wanted too much, looking for over 100 million, not for sale, whatever you want to say. So United then, now we're going to have to reassess. I've heard links to Wharton, I've heard links to Lamans and different goalkeepers. But now we should have that money available to spend on somebody like a Donnarumma. Now, I'm not saying Donnarumma specifically, but just a new goalkeeper. Diego Costa, maybe a cheeky little bit of a Martinez action, or, just a good, proven, experienced goalkeeper who's going to be coming in there ready to slot in and isn't going to be too much of a concern or too much of a worry. You want to go somebody tried and tested, like when we got Edwin van der Sar, 35 or whatever he was. Go and get David De Gea back from Fiorentina if you can. That is going to give us a tried and tested goalkeeper, especially for us, who we know we can rely upon and who can actually win us games. So I think this has highlighted it even further. Surely the United board and hierarchy realise that we can't go into this season with Bayender and Onana as our main two goalkeepers. That's just preposterous. And yes, Heaton probably should have been playing in the game, to be fair, seeing as he looks the most solid, but I still don't think Heaton's up to it. He's not really played much top flight football for a while. Yes, he's got experience in the past and stuff, but he's not played for a while at the top level. It's probably not right to just chuck him in there either. What is right is to replace our current goalkeeper with somebody who's not an absolute mess. By the way, if you're just getting in the stream, do us a favour and smash that like button on it. Give us a share. Get your thoughts and opinions involved. We want to hear from you in regards to this goalie situation. But the fact is we should have the funds there to go and buy someone like Donnarumma right now. I'm not saying we can get Donnarumma right now. It looks like City are going to get Donnarumma. They don't even really need Donnarumma, but just to spite Manchester United and maybe stop Manchester United getting the guy that we need, they'd probably be happy to sign him. I could see that happening. They've done it before in the past, just signing players to stop us getting them, because they've got enough money they can just chuck it at them. And obviously, if Edison's going away from them, then Donnarumma will be their number one, even though they've got Trafford. So, it's still a great acquisition by them if they can do it. But we need him more. The question is whether or not Donnarumma would actually come to United over City. City probably can provide him everything that he needs with Pep there as the manager, a stable situation to challenge, a team that's, up there winning things over the last few years, obviously, and European football is a big factor as well for a player like Bayender. So who knows if he'd even want to come to Manchester United. I'm just saying we should absolutely try and sign someone like that. We should try and sign Donnarumma. At least try. Fair enough if we lose out to City. That's gash, but at least try, or at least try and sign David De Gea back from Fiorentina. We could probably do a deal there, Andre Onana going in the opposite direction, and it wouldn't cost us too much money or any money. So we should certainly try and do a deal there to get one of these proven more consistent goalies. Otherwise, we're going to have a shit season, guys. There's going to be more games like this where United are the better team and we deserve to win, or at least deserve to get a result, and we end up losing. This has happened time and time again. We knew this was going to happen with the lack of transfer spending in the summer for these positions. All right, we did spend a couple $100 million and get those players. There was somebody commenting on my preview, forgive me, I've forgotten who it was now, but who basically said, it's funny that you're complaining about spending 200 million. But I'm not complaining about spending 200 million. I'm complaining about not spending 200 million and getting a goalkeeper. That's the problem, really. It's like, yeah, it's all well and good to get a few players in. The same problems are still glaring in United's team, the midfield. Casemiro, old man Cassie, I thought he had a good game yesterday, personally. But he's still an old man and his legs aren't there, and you could see the lack of mobility at times in that game. He was on toast a few times from Odegaard, and, he was good on the ball, but defensively sus, if you ask me. That's the problem with Cassie. He's just not mobile or athletic enough to get around and do the job that we need him to do there and cover. So, Cassie, he needs to be replaced by somebody who's athletic and a new player. We need to get a new player in goal to replace Flubberhand, Onana and Bayender. So those two positions are apparent. That's the positions we need to get. And if we'd have got them earlier on in the window, we'd probably win this game today. Because Arsenal were there for the friggin' taking, guys. That's what pisses me off so much. It's like we could have easily beaten this Arsenal side. Now, this Arsenal side, I'm sure, are going to get better throughout the season. Think about Gyökeres. I'm sure he'll find his feet. He looked gash in this game. They just weren't at the races at all. It's the first game of the season. How can anybody be? But for the more for the reason we would have done them if we'd have actually got a good goalkeeper in the summer and not made that error, and potentially a defensive midfielder as well. It could have been the difference. It really probably would have been the difference if we're being honest. So United have shat it there. Piss poor plan and piss poor performance yet again in the summer transfer window. Don't care what anyone says. We could have spent 200 million. Still a gash window when you factor in we still have the same problems in the midfield and in the goalie position. So time to pull your finger out now, United's recruitment team, and give Amorim what he needs, which is a defensive midfielder and also a proper goalkeeper as well. And then we can have a good season. We've got the forward line. That looked potent. I was very impressed with Mbeumo and Cunha throughout the entire game. Okay, Sesko had a quiet time when he came on. He's obviously not up to sharpness. We barely saw him as a small cameo from him. He's going to obviously come good, and he looks a real talent, but it's early days. We'll let him bed in first. More to do with the piss-poor planning of getting these players in early enough. If we'd gotten near the start of the window, then he would have been settled in and ready, wouldn't he? So there you go. More to the point, we are gash of planning for seasons. So yeah, there you go. Those guys were no problem. And Mbeumo, Cunha, they're going to have potent seasons, I think, for us. And Sesko, potentially. But the other positions are still problematic, and we haven't solved them. So it's still only a 5 or 6 out of 10 window at the moment. Guys, give us a rating of this transfer window so far. There's less than 2 weeks left. Give us a rating of the transfer window so far. I'm giving it a 5. It was a 6 or a 7 at one stage for me in my mind, but having seen still what's happened in this game against Arsenal, and the fact that we still have those problems, and that's still going to happen, and Andre Onana getting back fit and coming into the side doesn't help us. In fact, it's probably worse. I'd rather stick with Bayender at the moment, to be fair, because at least he's only made a couple of errors so far. Andre Onana's a consistent error-prone melter. 5.4735. Interesting. 4 out of 10. Same problem still here. Precisely 6. 4 no outgoings. Yeah, that's still a problem as well. Gio Granger says 5. The Don Gungshi says 6. Man United Fan for Life says 6, 7, 6, 6.5. Fair enough. Yeah, been pretty bang average. No matter who we sign, we've got Melts in goalkeeping. Well, this is why we need to sign a proper goalie. That's right, exactly. So we've still got, those problems in the team. We've signed great players up there who can score us goals and create goals, hopefully. They didn't do it yesterday, but hopefully they will. But the goalie position's still going to cost us games. Still going to cost us a lot of games. I agree with what Wayne Rooney said today here. He says, yes, the goalkeeper situation is a key thing Amorim needs to sort out. I think it has to be a thing. With Donnarumma, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It'd be crazy if Man United don't go for him. Wage demands. I don't think he's a risk. I saw a stat the other day. The errors leading to direct goals, his was 0. You get what you pay for. Pay peanuts, get twats. You know what I mean? It's like if you really want to have a good season, you've got to get the best goalie you can. And Donnarumma at the moment is available. Facts. He might want to go to City. He might end up going to City. But United need to do everything we can to go all out for this Scarface legendary goalkeeper. 26 he is. You're going to have him for the best part of his career. He's only just coming good. He's only just begun. Donnarumma's the one. So, 50 million quid, 40 million quid, whatever it takes, spend the money, solve the problem, get that puzzle piece that we need to complete the puzzle. Because otherwise, we are going to still be left wanting at the back there and losing games like we did yesterday against Arsenal. Even when we're playing well and we don't deserve to lose, we're still going to have issues because all of our goalkeepers are not up to much. They're not up to the standard. I mean, the real thing is I don't want to keep harping on about it and just repeating myself, and I know it's very unlikely. It's like 1%, but I just want David De Gea back. Like, it was just a weird dream. I heard it was all a bad dream that David De Gea was sold by Erik ten Hag, and he went off and had a year off, did a gap year, and then went to Fiorentina as a great for them. That's all a bad dream for me. Just bring him back and let's forget it like it never happened. You know, that I would be great with as well. But other than that, you know, Donnarumma's the one. Donnarumma makes the most sense. The wage demands are apparently quite high. You know, 200 plus, 250, 300,000 plus a week. He's already on 200,000 a week at PSG. The situation there is Luis Enrique doesn't want him. He's signed a new goalkeeper, Chevalier. He's also removed Donnarumma from the squad there. He wasn't involved in the Super Cup. We know Donnarumma's situation is he is leaving PSG this summer. They want to cash in rather than risk losing him for nothing. So Donnarumma has a lot of options, I'm sure, if he is available for the right price. It's going to depend on the money involved, but I'm sure, yes, City's top of the list, but Man United could have a try. No reason why we shouldn't be trying to tempt him with a bit of cash. Like Rooney said there, you don't think he's a risk in terms of his wages. I don't think he is either. De Gea was on £300,000 a week at this football club. We could have kept him and just given him a nice new contract. That would have solved us problems. We wouldn't have to have spent 50 million on Onana. Sometimes it makes sense to spend money to almost guarantee that you're going to have some success rather than taking a punt. Donnarumma's one of those signings that, yes, it's a lot of money and his wages are very high, but he's basically the best goalkeeper in the world. So you should be getting best goalkeeper in the world performances from him. And I've never had any issues with his attitude on the pitch in terms of watching him play for PSG or Italy or whatever. He always seems very much like he's bang on it, concentration, you know, giving it his all, trying his hardest, making ridiculous saves. I've never really, yeah, he has the odd bad game. That's true. He has the odd bad game. So does every goalkeeper. But I've never seen him not care. I've never seen him not try. So I don't think he is one of these mercenary types that people are talking about. I just think that he wants, you know, he probably wanted to be paid what he's worth, which is pretty much the most that a goalkeeper in the world should be paid right now, because he is like the best goal in the world. So why shouldn't he get 250k a week from PSG or 300k a week from PSG? If they don't want to pay that, if they don't see the value in him, then he should be walking and going somewhere else and looking for a best deal that he can get. Why not? And also, he's got no affiliation with Manchester United. It's as simple as maybe who gives him the best deal. You know, and like we said, City can offer more things than we can at the moment due to European football, and Pep's there, and that could be a draw for some of these players. You know, a big coach, like big famous coach like that, who's achieved all that he has. You have to say that these players probably want to go and play for someone like Pep. So Donnarumma is available. Yes, City are leading the chase right now, but United, unless we want to have a shit season, we need to absolutely go and get him. And it does look like City will go for Donnarumma at this stage, or will try and finalise this deal, obviously. They're going to have to negotiate. Negotiations will be pretty severe, I think, with PSG there, but before the end of the window it could happen. But this is from Fab about Ederson. I think Ederson's a great goalkeeper, personally. They've got themselves a good goalkeeper there. So I do find it quite strange that they're just so open to letting him go, especially when you factor in maybe Donnarumma's not even the Pep-type goalie. We talked about this, so he got rid of the likes of Joe Hart to get in someone, you know, like an Ederson, who's more supposed to be this ball-playing goalie. Not saying Donnarumma can't do that, because he can, but just, you know, he's more of a classic shot-stopper type beast goalkeeper, you know, rather than Twinkle Toes. So you know, I do find it a little bit surprising. We need him more than they do. They've just signed Trafford as well. Good young goalkeeper. He's going to be pissed off if they go and get Donnarumma as well. Is is the situation going to be that he just ends up going to Galatasaray and then City signed Donnarumma? That definitely could happen. So Fab says that negotiations ongoing between City and Galatasaray for Ederson. After opening bid worth 10 million euros, Man City requested around 25 million euros with big gap, but clubs trying to find an agreement. Ederson's keen on joining Galatasaray. So it does look like he's going to Galatasaray, and it does look like City will perhaps go for Donnarumma. But we should be in for him. We should absolutely be in for him, shouldn't we? Right, I'm just going to get into the live chat for a few minutes here on this whole goalkeeper position situation before we move on with the rest of the transfer news. We've got more on, Sancho and Garnacho and all sorts of stuff, which we're going to get into, and Wharton and a little bit on that. But right now, we're just going to discuss the goalkeeper position for a moment because it is a massive problem which we need to address. Get your thoughts and opinions in there. Who should we go for? Have your say. Exactly, Daz Salford. Just get a keeper. I based on the performance yesterday, I still think we can really be up there and be really good this season. Arsenal are a good side. Arsenal are a good team, and we absolutely outclassed them. And we were unlucky not to get a result due to a penalty shout not even being looked at or going our way, and also due to a really bad goalkeeping error and just a bit of bad luck in general. So we performed well. We should have probably won that game. So if you look at the performance, we can still do really well this season. It's one game. We can absolutely do really well this season, yeah. Wayne's a legend if that comment gets us Donnarumma. Well, he's absolutely right. Yes, Naz says Wayne's absolutely right. Only two club crap goalkeepers in the Premier League is Man United and West Ham. You'd even take Donner over a defensive mid, to be honest. Me too, Man United fan for life. We could basically manage with the likes of Mainu and Bruno starting most games. Or, Cassie was still very solid yesterday, I thought. Just not great off the ball, but on the ball, he was very good. He did win the ball back for us a few times as well. But he just hasn't got the mobility. You can see that there were times when he was just like, it was like watching a garbage truck turning out there. His legs are going and he never had great legs in that sense to begin with. So, yes, that is a problem. But I can see Ugarte Casemiro being okay. I really don't like Ugarte, actually. I've gone right off of him, but hopefully he can change my mind and be much better. He just hopefully needs to settle into the season and find some form. But, the midfield is a problem, and we do need a DM. But I still maintain that the goalie position is a massive problem, and that's the biggest position we need to strengthen due to the fact that it does have a massive knock-on effect as well in the team, confidence-wise, and just how disheartening must it be when you're a team that's actually played really well, and yet you've lost the game due to just a howler from the goalie. And you can't just you can't just park it all on Bayender, really. But it's not his fault. Andre Onana was out injured. He should be our number one. But he's the same problem. Bang on the money. Thank you, Jamie. Not getting Europe with this midfield. Prime Rooney would have a hat-trick yesterday. Yeah, you're right. Honestly, any goalkeeper can be elite at their current club. But being United's number one's a whole different world. Damn right. More to the point, we need someone with big bollocks and a big reputation and just big experience, really, to come in and be able to handle it. We need two big Ornstein or Romano. Here we go for a goalie in the midfield, and we can start cooking a bit. Well said there. We won't do anything this week in the window, and if we do, it will be a panic buy. Oh, filth mouse. Well, I don't know what we would really call a panic buy for the goalie position. I'm not sure. The way I see it, the shortlist for Manchester United right now should be something like 5 goalies on the list: Martinez, De Gea, Lamens, Donnarumma and Costa. Something like that. I bet they go for Lamens. I just do. And I know Lamens looks really good and everything, but he's the least actual goalie that makes sense right now due to the fact of the lack of an experience. He's a Belgian Pro League melter. He obviously looks good. He looks really good and he's young and he could be great. I'm not really putting my hat on could-be's at the moment. I don't fancy that. I want to see players come in with experience, more of a ilk of an Edwin van der Sar type signing for us right now, where they've got that experience at the level we need them to have. That's where someone like a Martinez or a Costa or a Donnarumma comes in. So I would like to see us do that. If we can't get Donnarumma, then why not go all out for Costa? Apparently he has a 50 million price tag at Porto. Look, he'll be a great keeper for many years to come. He's only about 26 as well. So those are a couple of great options, rather than going to go get some Belgian Pro League farmer who nobody's ever heard of before this year. And if you are saying, yes, you did, well, then, you need to get a life and stop playing so much Football Manager then. You know what I mean? Because he's a Belgian Pro League melter playing for, is it Royal Antwerp? I've even forgotten. You know what I mean? Like, there you go. We need somebody with a bit of experience and proven performances at the highest level. Something like Donnarumma makes sense. Mainu's going to leave if he can't get games. Well, he certainly should be popped in there instead of who we've been playing with at the moment, the likes of Cassie. To be fair, I think long-term, Mainu and Bruno should be given an opportunity to see if they can run that midfield. Macarific and Remy Kaluwo, thank you so much, you legends, for hitting that subscribe button there. Nice one. Yeah, if you guys are new like those legends there, give us a big subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It's the red one down below. Also, smash the likes on the stream if you're just getting in here. Give us a thumbs up. It helps the channel out. And get yourself subscribed. And in the chat, nice one. Has United even got money for a top keeper? Yes, Cinnamon, we do. We actually do. So, obviously, they're putting it on the Never Never, mate, on Klarna FC. Bang it on the old credit facility. But yes, I mean, ultimately, we've not even spent that much this summer, really, because you think the Cunha deal was over a couple of years. The Mbeumo deal was over 4 years. So we haven't actually had that much outgoing all at once. Plus, there's still players to sell. We still want to sell Garnacho. We still want to sell Sancho. We still want to sell Hojlund. We still want to sell Anthony. Hopefully Onana, if we can sign a new goalkeeper as well. So there's money to be raised still from outgoings and players that go in and their wages saved and all that sort of stuff too. So that has to be factored in. But also think about this. We had money for Baleba. We were interested in Baleba. That's what the reports were last week. Now, it seems Brighton not willing to sell. He's not for sale. They want to keep Baleba. They value him far too highly, 112 million, 150 million, whatever you want to say. That's apparently what they want for him. United were prepared to, by all accounts, talk for around about 80 million. We were supposedly talking around about 80 million. Now, we've walked away from the deal because they're just asking for too much. But that essentially means that, yes, we still have 80 million around that to spend on players if we need to. Yes, the DM's an issue, but the goalie is absolutely crying out to be filled that spot as well. So the central midfield and a goalie, I say we just maybe try and get a good midfielder in, maybe even a loan move or something. You know, think about how cheap Palhinha was at Spurs. Why didn't we just go and get someone like that for the season and then get a worldy goalie like a Donnarumma? That would be a lot cheaper than going to get Baleba anyway. And yes, Baleba's great for now in the future. I get it. We're still going to have the same problem in a year's time. But it would have sorted us out in the short term and we wouldn't have had to have spent 80 million quid. So I don't know who's in charge of this. Well, I do know who's in charge, and they need to pull their bloody fingers out because they're not doing a good enough job. They might have got some good improvements, but they haven't got the improvements that we need in the key areas. Knobs, mate, going into this season with Donnarumma, with Onana and Bayender in goal. That's the options. Going into this season with those guys, I mean, what did they expect to happen? What a bunch of idiots. No, seriously, what an absolute bunch of idiots, mate. Go into this season with Bayender in goal and Andre Onana, even if he's fit, as the main option. Come on. Come on. Give your head a wobble, twats. Not you, them. The people, the higher-ups at United, the board, the recruitment team. You know, these people, they how can they be happy with going into the season with Andre Onana and Bayender as the options? So they got exactly what they deserve, really, with that game. They got exactly what they deserve. They didn't get the goalie that we should have, and so we've been left wanting in that area, and it's cost us the game, literally. So they got exactly what they deserve. I just hope that now they realise their mistake, and they do try and flap around, no pun intended, and get a new goalkeeper in there before the end of the transfer window, because it's absolutely needed, mate. Thank you, Malps. I appreciate you, legend. Yes, mate. Yes. Does United need to fix everything in one window? Well, it would help. It would help. We should be. I mean, if you think about the dynasty of Manchester United, the size of the club that we are, the support that we have, the money that we bring in, if you think about all that, why is it that we shouldn't be having the best transfer window out of everybody in the league? And we basically are anyway, it seems, more or less up there, and we need to do better. Obviously, teams like Liverpool still could break that. But right now, we've spent a lot of money. But so we should, because we were the team that finished 15th. Look at City and Liverpool and Arsenal. They spent hundreds of millions this summer as well. But guess what? They all finished in the top four. Man United finished 15th. We should be spending $1 billion this transfer window in an ideal world, you know, to solve all the problems that we actually have. Goodness me. So that's why we have to spend. That's why we have to outspend everyone. And we should be outspending everyone and spending 300 million. We still need another DM. We still need another goalie. So thank you, Malps. I appreciate you, legend. There you go. Yeah, first interview, Wilcox, and we've explained his stance of young players, and he's spot on. Young players shouldn't be expected to play every minute while they develop. Mainu, Collier. Well, Collier's gone out on loan now, hasn't he? So at least he's going to get game time. Mainu needs to play. Mainu needs to play regularly. Every team we play will have the changing room chat about a weakness in goal before kickoff. That chat doesn't exist if we have a world-class goalie. So true. Just think about it. What are you telling your players to do from corners and set pieces and even just from distance? Test the goalie early on. You're telling them to test the goalie early on. Absolutely. You know, I mean, that used to be a classic when I was used to playing kids football, youth football back in the day. It's like you would get someone who knew someone who played for that team. They'd be like, their keeper's shite, by the way, or their keeper's dodgy. They shoot from long range and stuff like that. To cause them issues, to test them. And that's exactly what teams will do. They'll put those corners straight in towards the goalkeeper. They'll flood that little 6-yard box around the goalkeeper, and they'll make it nasty for him. You know what I mean? With a couple of players in there being physical. But if you had a big fucking physical, strong, Peter Schmeichel, Donnarumma type or whatever, who's a big unit, who's going to win that ball, it's not a problem. But if you have players that can be bullied there, like Bayender, like Onana, it's going to be a problem. And that's exactly what you do if you're a coach. You target them. You put corners right into the goalie. You put crosses right into the goalie. You get your players on the goalie. And if that happens, then, you're probably going to force the error at some point. So, I couldn't agree more. That's it, really. It's like it's going to be targeted. Bayender or Onana will both be targeted. And rightfully so. So you need to get someone who can handle it. Hello there, the Cake Cadet. What's happening, you legend? Welcome in. By the way, if you're just joining us like the Cake Cadet, continue to smash those likes on the stream. Give us a big thumbs up if you could, and get yourself subscribed. Cake, how you doing, mate? Sorry, I missed your comment there. I didn't read it. What did it say there? Where's it gone? The Cake Cadet, he says, Amorim won't survive the season with these clowns in goal. No, true, he does need backing. He needs help. The board needs to get Amorim a new goalkeeper. If they can get Amorim a new goalkeeper, we can have a good season. There was so much life and positivity in the rest of our play yesterday. We were unlucky we didn't have a penalty. We were unlucky not to score really. Dorgu's hit the post. Cunha's been one-on-one a couple of times and just melted. And Buemo's had a couple of good chances, couldn't take them. It was just unlucky. We should have actually been able to do them. But the reason we actually lost that game and not drawn or won is just down to the goalie. That's the reality. Yeah, thanks, Piggy. Park settings. Emi Martinez or Donnarumma, please do it United. Yeah, let's see. I'd take Emi Martinez as well. You're getting someone who's better than the current crop. Glaze Ineos don't care. They don't see the things that we see. Yeah, you're spot on. You're spot on. You're more worried about a lack to score than a keeper error. If we finished our chances, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you can understand it, though. You can understand it. I mean, that's just a fundamental error from a goalkeeper. And Buemo and Cunha are those guys up there. They actually looked really good throughout the game. Yes, we didn't have that clinicality. That's true. I believe that is a lot more likely to come in the next game, or a lot more likely to just come in general than Bayender or Onana finding form. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Buemo and Cunha, once the floodgates are open, they're going to be scoring freely, I believe. They showed so much danger in those games. They were both unlucky not to score. So I feel it was a shame that we had that lack of ability to convert. We needed to do that. And we could have won the game if that happened, that's true. But we certainly would not have lost that game if we didn't have that goalie problem. No, we haven't got a goalie yet, mate. Apparently you're interested in Cheapo Lamans from the Belgian Pro League. But I don't want him. I want us to go and get someone like, Donnarumma or maybe Costa or Martinez at a push. Or De Gea. Get rid of Bayender and Onana. Yes, get rid of both of them. What's the point? Top keepers wins games. Might as well get rid of both of them and then go and get De Gea and Lamans. One for the future and one for now. Another disaster season incoming. Well, potentially with the same midfield vulnerabilities and the goalie issues. If we're smashing those likes, means we're getting out, losing our frustration. Thank you so much, though, you legend. For me, Joe Ladd, it's a key fundamental of football to have a top-class keeper. It's the one position that has a massive psychological effect on both the opposition and our squad. Oh, so true. Opposition strikers are going into those games knowing that they can bully our goalies, knowing that they can have joy. You're absolutely right. And psychologically for our team, to have the confidence to just play out from the back with that level of confidence that you've got a good last line of defence is very important too. Like, you need to have that confidence in your goalie that he can save you. Raya had a great game. Exactly. He's the reason as well. Another big reason. It's not just down to United not finishing. Raya had a fantastic game, didn't he? Shit, man. I mean, there was one chance from Cunha which Raya's somehow got a fingertip to, which has diverted it basically off of the line. And that would have been a goal any other day if it wasn't for a tremendous world-class save. So, yeah, it's a fair point. Pleasantly surprised at Mount yesterday. Mount had a good game. Look, I'm not going to pretend like Mount's the answer for this season. Mount can do a bit-part role. He could be a squad player. He can play number 10. He can play striker even, it seems, or up there if you need him to. And maybe he can even play deeper in the CM role as and when you need him to. But he's certainly not someone I want to rely on for the season because he's just an outright melter. But he was decent yesterday, I'll give him that. Is it unlucky we didn't replace the keeper, or is it incompetence? It's incompetence, lad. It's most definitely not luck. We could have easily allocated funds for him. We've been chasing Baleba for a week for 100-odd million, apparently, they wanted for him. What's the point? You know, we could have easily gone and got a goalkeeper by now. We should have had a goalie and a central defensive midfielder before the first game of the season. Facts. If we were planning properly for the season, I know you can't always get who you want. Well, go and get somebody else then. Don't be left without. Get somebody on loan for the short term then, for the midfield. You know, Spurs have ended up getting that Paulinho right for the season, and I bet you he has a good season for them. And how much does he actually cost them? I bet you he has a good season for them. And that's exactly who we could have gone and got, but we didn't. Real talk. Thank you, Motto. Oh, this is like therapy, guys, isn't it? Today, we're all just in a little bit of therapy, you know. Therapy session has begun. I feel like Tony Soprano in Milfy's office, or Melfi, or whatever her name was. Or maybe I was right the first time. But, you know what I'm saying. I feel like I'm from New Jersey, where many moiders are coy. You know, I feel like we're getting some stuff off our chest here, guys. It's good. We need to discuss this. We have to get it off of our chest. It is therapy for us right now after a shit loss like that yesterday, which we didn't deserve to lose. Yes, I think we'll do better. There was good signs in that game. Yeah, you always wanted Costa, but it probably won't happen. Raya at the moment's top 3 goalies in the league. Yeah, he probably is, to be fair. VAR poor again, pig. Awful. Why not even go to VAR? Check some of those incidents. Some of those incidents were Stonewall penners. Need to get Lamans? Well, I wouldn't say no. I'd rather an unknown entity than a known entity, such as Onana or Bayender. Keeper should have been in at the beginning of the window. So true, lad. Everyone's improved their midfield apart from us. Yeah, and that's crazy considering that was a problem area for us last season as well. You said United should have signed Flecken from Brentford before the season. Spurs have Champions League football, that's the difference. Come on now. We've already proven this summer that Spurs cannot outdo Manchester United in the summer transfer window. We've already proven that by signing certain players. You know. Arsenal exposed a long-standing problem at the club. Concessions from set pieces since Erik ten Hag era with only 1 game a week. We should improve on this moving forward. Oh, definitely. But again, it's a fundamental of the goalkeeper to claim that. That's all on the goalie. You know, it's not, you can't really say anything about the defence, really. Yes, they're strikers crowding the goalie. It's on the goalie to be strong. It's on the goalie to stand up to him and to win that ball, punch it away or claim the cross. That's on the goalie. It's in his space. He has to deal with it. Goodness me, you know, when I was a goalkeeper, right, I know it's only youth football and it's totally different. Obviously, you know, you don't see this a lot from modern day goalies. But crikey, if there was a cross, and even if it was like way outside of the fucking 6-yard box, I was getting out to it and punching that motherfucker away. You know what I mean? Not waiting for it to come into me, by the way. I was fucking claiming that mother chuffer. You know what I mean? Keepers! You know, go and fucking claim that. Smash. You know what I mean? That's what we used to do in youth football. Now, I know it's not the same at the top level of the Premier League, but you don't just have to stand on your line like some meek little melter and get bullied by the opposition strikers. Fucking show some strength, show some bottle. Get it out. You know what I mean? So, there you go. He's had an absolute mare. These goalies cost us 15 points a season. Bring in Donnarumma or Costa, and we probably increase our points total by at least 10. Precisely, exactly, Mouse, you know. Anyway, it's just frustrating to lose games to such poor errors. Right, enough of this goalkeeper guff. Yes, let's hope we can get De Gea. Let's hope we can get Donnarumma or someone. We'll see. Surely now the problem has been highlighted further by this game, and I believe United now need to give Amorim what he needs and go and get him a goalie before the end of the transfer window. Okay, so that's the goalie situation. It's a nightmare. Fair play to Amorim. You know, I like the way we played. I like the way we set up. I like how he's carried himself after the game. He's right to back Bayender and say what he said, but he still will want a new goalie, I'm sure of it. Of course, he can't be happy with the goalie. Right, let's move on to this twat. Sancho, goodness me, this guy will not flush away, will he? Oh, somebody call a plumber. This guy does my head in. New report here from Fab a couple of hours ago. Hang on a second, that's the second one. Let me get the first one up here. Yeah, no, that's the third one. Hang on a second, give me a chance. Yes, no, that's not it either. This is it. Jadon Sancho currently not accepting AS Roma's proposal and not even in talks with Besiktas now. No agreement between Sancho and Roma on personal terms, despite Man United ready to accept a £20 million bid. Besiktas deal in standby, as Sancho won't consider Turkey before September. Oh, do you know what? This guy is public enemy number one. I can't stand this man. He just won't flush away, guys. We need him to go. There's 20 million on the table for us from Roma there. 20 million. A good amount of money to get back from this £73 million waste of space that we spent on Jadon Sancho claiming £300 a week from this football club. We get him off the books and save and get 20 million back. And he can go and play for a great team like AS Roma. He should be privileged to play for a team like AS Roma. But apparently he's currently not accepting their proposal. He's not into it, guys. He's not into it. You know, it's a disgrace, this man. Fab says Sancho's agent also informed AS Roma of their decision not to accept the proposal. Sancho wants to consider other clubs' proposals, and AS Roma will now look at different options. Man United hope for similar proposals to follow, around £20 million as they were ready to accept. So we had their offer on the table. We just needed him to agree terms and agree to go to AS Roma there and actually want to go. But no, same old deal. He wants to either get the biggest dream move he can possibly think of, or just sit on his thumbs and little his plonker all summer long or all season long. This guy's got the stinkingest attitude that you've ever known. You know, I don't know how we were duped into signing this melter, but we were. And what a bad attitude this guy has. I hope he goes on and does very poor things in the game, because that's what he deserves to do. He should be itching at the opportunity to go and play for Roma. What a great team to go and play for. Maybe get yourself back into contention for the England squad next summer for the World Cup. Have a good season. No, you don't want to do that. No. What do you want then, Jadon? What do you want? Do you just want to sit around for a year collecting 300,000? Because if so, then you're an absolute loser, mate. Even though you're collecting massive money and you're financially not a loser, from a footballer's career point of view, you are. You should be itching to play. You should be begging to play. You should be knocking on the manager's door trying to get a move away to go and play for a team that's going to give you an opportunity to get into the England team next summer. If you've got the talent, which he does, yeah, that's what you should be doing, but he does not have the mentality. What a melter. But anyway, we can't seem to get rid of this guy. AS Roma willing to take him, AS Roma willing to pay. But he does not want to go to Roma. I don't know what his dream move that he's looking for. Who does he expect? So this is what also Fab said. He said that, at the moment, Sancho, Besiktas called 2 weeks ago to ask for deal conditions, but since then, there's been no fresh contacts. Besiktas remain willing to match Man United's asking price, but Sancho's not accepting a move to Turkey now. It can be an option later on with Turkish market closing on September 12th, right? So he's not seemingly interested in Turkey. And look, he wants to wait for other proposals. He wants to consider other clubs' proposals. What club's going to come in for him that's going to satisfy him? Real Madrid? You know, it's not realistic. Barcelona? You know, none of these clubs are going in for this twat right now. He's not wanted. So I don't know what you're really thinking by not going to a great club like AS Roma. That's a very good club, AS Roma. Especially too good for Sancho. Way too good for Jadon, that club. So, he should be lucky to go and play over there for AS Roma. But he doesn't want to go anywhere, guys. He's happy collecting his fat wages and pulling his plonker and playing FIFA till 3 a.m. and doing what else he ever does. He's just a lazy, outright bad character bastard, isn't he? There you go, Gungs. He's an entitled, lazy wanker. Yeah, he's going nowhere. He'd rather sit on his ass counting his cash. Worst attitude in history. Make him clean the toilets. Let him rot for a year. Definitely. Get us goalkeeper and midfielder. Sancho just committing to his contract at the end of the day. Well, yeah, but it's just he should be looking to go and play. These footballers' careers are finite. This isn't a normal career. I mean, fair enough if you only value money, but for a footballer, shouldn't he be valuing his career and legacy as well? He clearly doesn't. That's the reality. He clearly does just value the money. And if that's all it's about, get it. I get it. It's a job. If that's a job, it's a job to you, you twat. It's a job, you know what I mean? It's a job there, Sancho. You're a knob, Sancho, but it's a job if you want to treat it like that. But I can't understand these guys who have that mentality. Surely these kids, they got into playing football as kids and were great at football and played football regularly and loved football because they loved it. They played it because they loved it. These guys always forget that, though. As soon as they got the money in the bank account, it can't be asked anymore. But if he had the right attitude, if he was an actual footballer, then he would want to play, be itching to play and itching to make his mark on the game. Because it is a finite career. So I think these are the differences between somebody with a mentality like, I don't know, Cristiano Ronaldo, who say what you want about him, but he was prepared to leave Manchester United with a mutual termination, meaning we didn't pay him a penny to leave. You know what I mean? He was on a massive contract, rightfully so. And he was just like, right, well, I don't want to be here anymore. It's not working out for me. I'm not going to sit here and collect the cash. I want to play. I'll happily leave right now, compensation free. That is the difference. And okay, Cristiano Ronaldo is obviously the sort of player that can go and get a move to any club in the world he pretty much wants, really. And he's in a very strong position. And maybe there was an offer on the table from Saudi, which made him want to do that. But still, like, that's the difference, really. He wants to play. Cristiano, at his age, I mean, you can almost guarantee Jadon Sancho's not going to be playing when he's 40. I will be surprised if Jadon Sancho's playing when he's 30. You know what I mean, guys? I'll be very surprised if he continues to play beyond 30. He strikes me as that sort of melt. And to be fair, I'm not saying that players who gave up before 30 are melts. Look at Cantona, he was done by then. Georgie Best, even though he played for many teams after that, he really, truly gave up in his late 20s. You know, really, he just was on a world exhibition after that, getting pissed up. You know, so, but certain players should be, you know, trying a lot harder to make the most of their career is all I'm saying. And I just don't see Jadon Sancho as that type player. He is what we call in the industry an absolute wrong-un. You can't save him, and wherever he goes, they'll probably have the same problems there as well with him as well. So, you know, he should be very, very fortunate and thinking he's fortunate to get a move like Roma, but he doesn't want to go. He wants to stay here. What a disgrace. Dele Alli 2.0. Even worse than Dele Alli, mate. Dele Alli, I think, you know, if you look at what's happened with Dele Alli, there's been issues off the pitch and stuff. But he always, you know, wasn't really for a lack of trying with Dele Alli. This is a different reason. This is just sheer bone idleness. Do you know what I mean? Berber, lad, welcome in, mate. How you doing? Get in there. How you been, lad? How you, mate? What do you make of that shit show yesterday? Not the performance, but the result. His attitude has had a big impact on his rep. It'll be amazed if anyone... That's another thing. Who actually wants to go in for him? None of these top teams are going in for him, even if he was cheap because of his bad attitude, mate. I wouldn't go in for him. No, definitely not. Damn straight Man United Greek fan. Thank you so much, boss. So there we have it. That's the latest there with Jadon Sancho. It's an infuriating update. He doesn't want to go. He's not willing to go to AS Roma. He wants to hit other proposals. And he also, you know, is a twat. That's the latest update there on Jadon Sancho, guys. And it's an infuriating one. Oh, right. Anyway, so let me go and just check. Thank you, everyone that's reposted us on X. There's a link pinned at the top of the live chat. By the way, shout out to the sponsor for the rest of the month, Match Bingo. There's a QR code in the corner there. You can scan that, download the app, and play Match Bingo if you fancy. It's like it's a bingo for football matches based on what's going on in the matches. So it's pretty interesting. Link in the description, or scan that QR code, UK only. Nice one. So give us a repost. I'm just going to shout you all out who's reposted us. Thank you so much to everyone who's reposted and shared the show around. Big ups to you legends. Let's have a little look-see. So, 8 reposts. Thank you so much to you legends. Kane, John Boy Cat, Kieran, Sanjay Ramatar, Francois Koch, Ryan Neeson, Ashby Moe, Aaron as well. Thank you so much for getting in there raw and sharing this show around, you absolute legends. Okay, right, let's get stuck into the chat. We're going to have a Q&A now. While I'm on X, actually, I'll just see if there's any updates last hour that's come through while we've been spieling over here. Let me see if anything has come through of any interest. And Feline Fur's just giving us a repost as well, lad. Thank you there, the Don. And also Berber as well. Thank you guys very much indeed for getting in there with a last gasp repost. Legends, man. Absolute legends. Right, let's have a little look, see if there's anything come through so far during this show about Manchester United. No, doesn't really look like it. No. Nothing else, guys. Nothing about us going to sign Donnarumma. Nothing about us going to bring in Lamens or Costa or Martinez or De Gea. Nothing about that just yet. No, just more of the same guff. Right, let's get stuck into the Q&A for a bit then. I was having a good chat with you there, you legends. Let's get back into it. Once again, if you just joined in, smash the like, smash the subscribe, have your say. We're going to stick on here for 5-10 minutes and have a little bit of a chat then. But that's the latest sort of reaction. It's pretty poor. We need a new goalie. We certainly need a new midfielder as well. But the goalie is more important if you ask me. I just believe I just absolutely agree with what Rooney said about the situation. The goalie situation is a key thing Amorim needs to sort out. It is a key thing. That's it. It's going to make or break us this season. If we have a great goalie who's solid, the team's going to prosper. But if we have a poor goalie, it's just going to destroy confidence, and it's also going to cost us points. It just is if we continue with Onana or Bayanda or those guys. And it's not about the wages, really. You pay for what you get. Buy cheap, buy twice. You know what I mean? That's what's happened there in the past with us. Sometimes if you want to go and get a really, truly good goalkeeper, go and get one of the best in the world. You might have to pay him, yeah, but it's worth it because he's going to solve a lot of problems. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Thank you, Noble Armour. How you been doing there, Noble? It's a must to get at least a midfielder on loan. Yeah, so true. A loan is actually something we should look at. We should explore the loan market a little bit there for a midfielder, because hopefully if we can sign Donnarumma, that's going to be a big problem solved. And we're going to have to pay Donnarumma to sign for us. That's the reality. He would probably only be coming here for the money. But, does that make him a mercenary? I don't know. Maybe he just wants the best deal. He feels like he's the best goalie in the world, or one of, and wants to be paid like that. So 300k a week, I'm happy to give him that, to be fair. Are we getting Adam Wharton? Well, there are reports that we're interested in Adam Wharton, and he's been discussed, behind closed doors, but there's no offers or anything as of right now, or no contact made from what I understand. But Wharton's definitely on the list, and Wharton makes a bit of sense. But again, Wharton is a player that's probably going to cost you 70, 80 million quid. So do we have that ready? And if so, does that mean we do not get a goalkeeper? Because I'd rather we cheaped out on the midfielder a little bit and went and got a top-class goalie right now. We do need another midfielder in there, but we should just get someone we can afford rather than spending all the eggs in the basket on one player. We need a goalie and a midfielder. Yeah, Onana wasn't cheap. That's the problem. No, I know. So even if his wages are not astronomical, isn't he on about 150k a week, which is about 149k a week too much, in all fairness, for what sort of player that he is. But even if he is on that sort of money, that's still a lot for the type of goalie and the quality of goalie that he is. So get him off the books. Okay, it's half of what De Gea was on, but De Gea was more than double the player. So it's like you get what you pay for, really, in a lot of ways. Apparently he was a pain in the arse at City Academy. That's why Pep booted him out. Interesting. You think we need a Gume from Sevilla? Interesting that Abdullah Erwan getting in there, our Spanish correspondent. As much as I hate Man City, they did the right thing selling Sancho all these years ago. Oh, yeah, absolute wrong character. Only did well over there in Dortmund, just in a German farmers league, just so he could get a big money move. And once he got that big money move, he downed tools. Lesson to be learned there for Manchester United. Don't give anyone too much money too soon. Will any of our unfantastic four ever get sold or loaned out? Well, Sancho's wanted, surprisingly, but he doesn't want to go anyway. He's happy collecting the money. Garnacho only wants to go to Chelsea. They are expected to go in and try and get him before the end of the window, but they haven't done anything about it too much just yet. And then the other players we've got, the likes of Hojlund, he's expected to go on loan this summer. He wasn't featuring in the squad at all yesterday, which alludes to the fact that he is going because we're protecting him. He wasn't even a substitute, so that sort of does tell a story there, really. Wharton impossible. Well, I don't know about impossible, but it's unlikely. Ramsdale seems such a long time ago. Wharton deal would be too difficult. It would take a long time. It's a lot of money involved. Fergie would have got rid of Sancho in a flash. He'd probably never have got him in the first place, but if he did, he'd have punted a boot in his face and sold him straight away, yes. Leave Vetek at my club, please, says AB. Pep was right about Sancho. Thought he was too good to play second fiddle as a teenager. Arrogant. Oh, yeah. Why didn't Onana play yesterday? Well, firstly, because he's gashed. Secondly, because he's only just come back from injury and he hasn't played in pre-season. The last couple of games, Bayender played in pre-season. So it made sense to play Bayender. We need to remove the goal from away side of the pitch. Football's a short career. One day Sancho will look back and realise he messed up. True, I mean, he might just look at it from a financial point of view. It seems like he's that type of guy. He might be thinking, oh, well, it's only a finite time for me to earn as much money as I can, so I might as well just stay on this cushy contract. But he's got the wrong attitude. A footballer, someone who really loves the game, should be looking to play as much football as they can. And like you say, from a football legacy point of view, from a career point of view, surely he's already missed out on a couple of years, already. So he will look back, I think, and regret that sense. Yeah, Rudy's spot on regards to Donnarumma. This is the thing when you're talking about the absolute best, you have to pay. Simple as that. Very true, very true. And Rooney was no different. There was a time when Rooney was trying to leave us, actually, and Fergie just was having none of that, and he signed him up to a new £300,000 a week contract. It kind of did usher in this new era of player power at United, which is bad in one respect, but also it's like if you want the best, you have to pay him like the best. Rooney was worth 300k a week to us. But easily. Amadou Onana, I want next Lamans, 7 million Rasmus Hojlund, okay. Yeah, Lamans will do, but I want a more proven goalie at this stage, to be honest, someone to slot in, an Edwin type. In my opinion, if the goalie situation is not resolved, we can flush ourselves down the toilet. Same, Daniel, I don't think we can get top 4, top 6, or whatever we're hoping for, unless we've got a worldly goalie in there, much better than who we've got right now. Well, hopefully Malacia is going to be going before the end of this window as well. You can bet your life Sancho cuts off the fat of his bacon. Thank you so much there for the super chat. Paul S in Texas getting in here raw, lad. Thank you so much, Paul, for the super chat, mate. He says there should be a public deadline for Sancho and Antony transfers. If they're waiting for last day deals, just let them rot in the reserves. Very true, very true. Yeah, well, I don't know what they're waiting for, really. Sancho's got a good offer on the table. I have no idea. He's waiting for more proposal. I think he actually thinks that Barcelona are going to come in for him. Or Mars FC. Or something out of this world. You know, Jupiter United. Somebody's going to come in for him that's better, apparently, than Roma. I can't see that happening. But, you know, it might happen. Dihydrogen monoxide, Forest fan here. Thank you so much for that, Paul S. You're a legend, by the way. Forest fan here. We have Crystal Palace away next. That'll be interesting. Oh, God, yeah. Tough. Chris Wood in form, doing raw stuff. Sancho's Ravel Morrison 2.0. Yeah, pretty much, mate. Pretty much. At least Fergie, had highlighted Ravel Morrison before he got any big contract, though, as a wrong-un. This guy siphoned millions out of our club. Can't be worried about wage structures and that. Donnarumma's world-class. He's not an 80k a week guy. No, true. Honestly, no joke. I'd be happy to pay him free 80k a week. Honestly. It'd be money well spent, I think. I mean, I could be wrong if he had a charter. But I don't think he would. He's the best goalie in the world. He just won the Champions League and was a big part of it. You know, so I don't really have any honest criticism of Amorim. I think that he was very unlucky not to win the game, mate, due to a lack of a penalty shout that was not looked at by the VAR. And also, you know, just the fact that flubber-handed goalie incident, mate. We were very unlucky. We hit the post. The keepers, David Reyes, had a great game. I can't really fault Amorim's performance as a manager and how he set them up and got them playing. It was all right. It was good. It was much better. We were unlucky. Donnarumma would want over 200k a week. Ineos won't pay anybody. Well, Bruno's on 300k a week. Casemiro's on 300k a week. Should we not get the fuck rid of Casemiro and get Donnarumma instead? Makes sense. How much will Antony go for eventually? 25, 30 million. Kellogg's UFC for Mr. Freedom. Oh, dear. Yeah, he's an absolute scrub, no doubt. Sancho in Full Metal Jacket. I want you to... Yep. Kepa had a good season, I agree. Good shout. Kepa had a good season on loan at Bournemouth and Arsenal. Got him for 5 million. There you go. Yeah, just a backup for them looking for that depth. We don't have any depth in our goalie position. Sancho wants to play in the NFL. Let's help him get there. Should let one ball in the net. Walker says Sancho will run his contract down. Yeah, maybe. True. I mean, I guess Sancho can just get a better deal in a year's time if he's a completely free agent, can't he? Berber says if Bruno didn't give the penalty away, the keeper was soft but got fouled. We played really well. Just annoying errors cost him. Definitely annoying errors. Yes, I mean, Bruno did give the ball away, didn't he? But, I mean, I thought Bruno had a good game overall, to be fair. I can't really blame him too much. The goalie flap is just one of those things that you just can't really, attest for. It's just so poor from Bayender that, you know, you just can't believe it. Dangerous tactics of Amorim banking on goals to compensate for our poor defence. I don't even think it's Amorim. I'm sure Amorim wants a new goalie. You know, I think Yoro's going to be class. I think De Ligt's going to be class this season for us. Even Luke Shaw was decent, to be fair. I don't really think the defending was an issue. There was two factors: the goalie and the fact we couldn't convert. We actually had enough chances. We had some great chances. We didn't take our chances. We were lacking clinicality. The actual defending wasn't an issue, in my opinion. Rocker Bolton says, High Pig United need to get a new goalie now. Yes, they bloody well do, Rocker Bolton, lad. Maybe even Jussi Jaskalainen could come out of retirement, mate, seeing as you're a Bolton lad, you know what I mean? Watch the 18s in Saturday. JJ Gabriel and Kai Rooney both play. That's awesome, Kai Rooney getting in there, mate. What? How old is Kai Rooney now? We need to stop the Amorim out brigade. It's already starting on Talk Poisonous Sport. Ridiculous. Qualamendo, great signing for Forest, man. Cracking young player. Yeah, you were telling me about him. Does look good. At their corner, how many players did United leave up front to occupy their centre-backs? Is that the real frailty with our defending of corners? I'm not too sure. I'd have to have another look back as how many we actually had. But I don't know. I don't think we had frailty defending the corners. The only frailty was the balls played at the goalkeeper, and that's where the frailty is. You sincerely apologise for using a great swear word. No worries, mate. No worries at all, lad. Gamisi Atu to these motherfucking Man United melts, mate. These players that need to go. These Sancho mugs, etc. I understand it. It's infuriating. Rocker Bolton, thank you so much, mate. He says, yes, Bolton, born and bred. Cheers for that, you legend. Thank you so much, Rocker Bolton, for another super chat. You are a huge don. Appreciate you, my son. Yeah, true. That's it. More piss poor planning not getting a striker in early. If Sesko was here earlier, could have been settled and actually starting in that game. And certainly we should have had a new goalie starting in that game. Oh, really? Lukaku's out for 3 months. Napoli need a striker. Rasmus? Oh, matron. Lovely. Yes, please get on the blower. Timo Schafter needs to get on the case. Chesney or ter Stegen would do you wonders. Yeah, well, they definitely would be much better than the melters we've got. You're absolutely right. Arsenal Stoke tactics are so irritating. My manager glad we improved to melts like TalkSport. We will give anybody the game. Oh, yeah, Ugarte, not impressive again, mate. Not sure about him, lad. And still, the jury's out on him. He needs to prove himself this season or move on and in the summer if that's going to be how he plays, really. Yeah, Johan Visser, Nicholas Voltamede, Samu. Yeah, fair enough. Some good shouts there, lad. No worries, Man United Greek fan. Would you accept Edison Pig? I mean, I would, but they'll never sell him to us, mate. Edison would be a massive upgrade for Man United in every way. He's a good keeper. Definitely, I'm surprised they want to get rid, but they would never sell him to us, mate. They'd rather see him go to a different league and pay him to play on loan somewhere or some shit than give Man United a helping hand. Nice, Stephanie. We're 23 likes away from 200 likes. Right then, let's have one last like, Spike. Give us a thumbs up. We're pretty much going to wrap this stream up now anyway, but give us one last like on the video if you can. That would be amazing. Get yourself involved by subscribing to the channel. We're on here daily with the latest United news. Get yourself involved. You know it makes sense. We'll be back on later as well. So click the subscribe and the bell icon so you don't miss any of the info. Once we found out that Onana was injured, we should have got a new keeper. Spot on, agree. We should have got a new keeper before Andre was injured as well. Sad reality is Andre would have probably kept that goal out. Well, maybe, but again, he's a flappy individual at crosses and corners and stuff. He doesn't command his box very well. Edison ain't joining United. Nah, definitely he won't. That will never happen. How many signings more? Well, we need 2, but I think 1 more, a goalie. Don't start with all the Sesko could have been signed sooner. Well, he should have absolutely been signed sooner. I mean, he can't say he's ready to start really due to the fact that he hadn't played a single preseason game for us or anything, and he'd come in cold. So it's not the ideal scenario, is it? I still would have started him, Jamie. I don't know why Mount started. I don't get that, but Mount was all right. But yes, Sesko should have started. I agree. He's obviously maybe not 100%, whatever. Amorim knows what he's doing in that regard. You watch the Everton versus Leeds game? I think I'm going to watch that. That's on tonight, yeah? I might do a watch-along for it at this stage, yeah. Nice one, Haunted Spectre. Nice one, Berber. Exactly. Onana's catching ability is like stopping a cannonball with a poppadom. Poppadom wrist strikes again. Right, legend. Absolutely agree. Right, guys, we're going to wrap up this stream then. Once again, you can click the link in the description and check out Match Bingo. You can also click that or scan that QR code there to check out Match Bingo. They are sponsoring the channel for the rest of August. Big up Match Bingo. And yes, there you go. That's the latest news. Thank you for watching, guys. Check out the links in the description to the Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and all those places. Give us a follow at Flying Pig United. You can come back after this video is finished. Get your thoughts and opinions in about any of the news, anything we discussed, the goalie, the reaction to yesterday, what you think we need to do the most. Goalie, DM, or elsewhere. Have your say. Keep the debate going after the stream finishes. Legends. Nice one, Jamie, Gio, Raisin, Stewart, Christian, Tommy Boyle. Thank you all so much. Oh, he's a scumbag, isn't he? I know. Oh, what a dirtbag. I know, Tommy. Thank you to all the moderators, Berber, Tommy, Gungshi for getting in here raw. All the members in green like Gungshi and Berber and Superstar and Studio and everyone. Thank you so much. Cheers, Barbary, Raisin, Geo. Come back after, have your say. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next one. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.